If you want the man of your dreams to find you, you have to understand that it starts with you. Too many women are searching, chasing, and exhausting themselves thinking they need to make it happen. But the right man, your man, will find you when you align yourself with these key principles. You don't have to force it, manipulate it, or beg for it. The right connection is divinely designed, and your job is to be ready when it arrives. Embodying the energy you want to attract is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to finding the right man. Too often, people focus on the external, what they want in a partner, what they hope to receive, what qualities the other person should have, but they fail to turn that mirror on themselves. The reality is you don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. This means that if you want a healthy, loving, emotionally available man, you need to be a healthy, loving, and emotionally available woman. If you desire a man who is confident and secure, you have to exude confidence and security within yourself. Healing is a crucial part of this process. Unresolved wounds from past relationships, childhood experiences, or personal struggles can create barriers that prevent you from receiving the love you deserve. When pain is left unchecked, it manifests in different ways: fear of abandonment, insecurity, distrust, or self sabotage. Many women unknowingly carry this baggage into new relationships, and it affects the way they communicate, the way they set boundaries, and the way they receive love. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but it requires a conscious effort to address past hurts, release emotional burdens, and step into a space of wholeness. This might involve therapy, self-reflection, journaling, prayer, or surrounding yourself with positive influences that encourage growth. Growth is another key aspect of embodying the energy you want to attract. Growth means constantly evolving, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself. It doesn't mean striving for perfection, but rather embracing progress. A man who is on a journey of self-improvement will naturally be drawn to a woman who is doing the same. Growth also means taking accountability for your actions, recognizing areas where you need to improve, and being willing to make changes that will enhance your relationships. Whether it's working on your communication skills, strengthening your emotional intelligence, or learning how to express your needs in a healthy way, every step you take toward growth brings you closer to the relationship you desire. Being emotionally available is one of the most important aspects of attracting the right man. Many people say they want love, but deep down they are afraid of intimacy and vulnerability. Emotional unavailability can show up in different ways: keeping walls up, avoiding difficult conversations, shutting down when things get serious, or always finding reasons why someone isn't good enough. If you want a man who is emotionally open and available, you have to be willing to do the same. This means being honest about your feelings, expressing your emotions in a healthy way, and being open to receiving love without fear or hesitation. At the end of the day, the energy you put out into the world is the energy that will be reflected back to you. If you are constantly carrying fear, doubt, and unresolved pain, you will attract men who mirror those same struggles. But if you operate from a place of confidence, peace, and self-love, you will naturally attract a man who embodies those same qualities. Knowing your worth is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to attracting the man of your dreams. Too many women settle for less than they deserve because they don't truly recognize the value they bring to a relationship. They tolerate inconsistency, accept breadcrumbs of affection, and allow men to treat them in ways that do not align with their true desires. This happens because they have either been conditioned to believe that love requires struggle, or because they fear that if they set their standards too high, they will end up alone. But the reality is, when you know your worth, you set the tone for how others treat you. A woman who knows her worth does not entertain men who do not meet her standards. She does not waste time trying to convince someone to see her value. She does not chase, beg, or plead for attention because she understands that the right man will recognize her worth without needing to be convinced. This does not mean having an arrogant or entitled attitude. Rather, it means having a deep-rooted confidence in yourself and what you bring to the table. Confidence is magnetic. A woman who walks in self-assurance naturally attracts a man who sees her as a prize, someone he wants to cherish and invest in. One of the biggest indicators of self-worth is how you allow yourself to be treated. If you constantly accept behavior that disrespects your time, energy, and emotions, you send the message that such treatment is okay. But when you set boundaries and stick to them, you communicate that you will not accept anything less than what you deserve. Boundaries are not about being difficult or controlling. They are about protecting your heart and ensuring that you are in relationships that align with your values and needs. The right man will respect your boundaries because he understands that a woman with standards is a woman worth pursuing. Self-worth is also about knowing that you are enough just as you are. You don't need to change yourself to fit into someone else's ideal. You don't need to shrink yourself to make a man feel more comfortable. You don't need to prove your worthiness by overgiving, overcompensating, or constantly seeking validation. The right man will appreciate you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be in an attempt to earn his love. Healing plays a significant role in self-worth. Many women struggle with low self-esteem because of past hurts, failed relationships, or childhood wounds that made them feel unworthy of love. But true self-worth comes from within. It is not based on external validation or whether a man chooses you. It is about understanding that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see it. When you fully embrace your worth, you become selective about the kind of love you accept, and that selectiveness is what ultimately attracts the right man into your life. Healing from past wounds is essential if you want to attract the man of your dreams. Many people carry emotional baggage from previous relationships, childhood experiences, or personal disappointments, and without healing, those wounds can manifest in the way they approach love and relationships. Unhealed trauma can lead to fear, insecurity, and emotional walls that prevent genuine connection. You may find yourself doubting a good man's intentions, pushing away love because of fear of being hurt again, or even attracting the same unhealthy patterns repeatedly. Until you address these wounds, they will continue to affect your ability to receive the love you truly deserve. Healing is not about forgetting the past or pretending like pain never happened. It is about facing those wounds head on and allowing yourself to process the emotions attached to them. It requires self-reflection, forgiveness, and sometimes even professional guidance. Many people suppress their pain, hoping that time alone will make it disappear, but true healing requires intentional effort. It means acknowledging what hurt you, understanding how it shaped your view of love, and actively working towards a healthier mindset. It is about releasing resentment, letting go of bitterness, and freeing yourself from the emotional weight that has held you back. One of the biggest signs that healing is needed is when you find yourself reacting to a new relationship based on old pain. If a man's harmless action triggers a deep emotional response that is disproportionate to the situation, it may be a sign that past wounds are influencing your present. For example, if you've been cheated on before, you may struggle to trust a faithful man. If you've been abandoned, you may have an overwhelming fear of rejection that causes you to sabotage healthy relationships. Healing allows you to separate past experiences from present reality and approach love with a renewed perspective. Healing is learning to love yourself fully. When you truly love yourself, you won't settle for half-hearted love, mistreatment, or toxic dynamics. You won't accept inconsistent effort or tolerate someone who doesn't value you. Loving yourself means knowing that you are enough with or without a relationship. It means recognizing that a man is not responsible for filling a void in your heart. He is meant to complement the wholeness you have already cultivated within yourself. A healed woman operates from a place of confidence rather than desperation. She does not beg for love, nor does she chase after a man to prove her worth. Instead, she attracts the right man effortlessly because her energy is one of peace, self-assurance, and emotional stability. She knows what she wants, and she is not afraid to walk away from anything that does not align with it. A woman who has healed is open to love, but not dependent on it. She understands that love is a beautiful addition to life, not the sole source of happiness. When you heal, you create space for a healthy, fulfilling relationship that is built on mutual respect, trust, and genuine connection. Understanding your worth is one of the most powerful things you can do when it comes to attracting the man of your dreams. Many people settle for less than they deserve because they don't fully recognize their own value. When you truly understand your worth, you set higher standards, you don't tolerate mistreatment, and you don't feel the need to prove yourself to someone who doesn't appreciate you. Instead of chasing after love, you allow the right love to find you because you know you are worthy of it. A woman who knows her worth does not beg for attention, validation, or affection. She does not stay in situations where she is undervalued or taken for granted. She walks with confidence, knowing that she deserves a man who sees her value without her having to convince him of it. This confidence is not about arrogance or entitlement, it is about self-respect. It is about knowing that you bring something valuable to the table and that the right man will recognize and cherish that without hesitation. Many women lower their standards out of fear of being alone. They convince themselves that something is better than nothing, so they accept breadcrumbs instead of demanding the whole cake. They ignore red flags, make excuses for poor treatment, and settle for relationships that drain them rather than uplift them. But when you understand your worth, you stop negotiating your non negotiables. You stop entertaining half hearted effort. You stop waiting for a man to change and start prioritizing your own happiness. A man is naturally drawn to a woman who values herself. When he sees that you respect yourself, he is more likely to treat you with the same level of respect. But if he senses that you are willing to accept anything just to have him in your life, he may take advantage of that. A woman who knows her worth is not easily manipulated or controlled. She does not fall for sweet words without consistent actions to back them up. She knows that love should be reciprocated, not one-sided. Knowing your worth also means understanding that rejection is not a reflection of your value. Too many people internalize rejection, believing that if a man does not choose them, it means they were not good enough. But the truth is, rejection often has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the other person's capacity to appreciate what you have to offer. A man who fails to see your worth is not the man meant for you. Instead of chasing after him, you stand firm in the belief that what is truly meant for you will never require you to beg, plead, or diminish yourself. When you embrace your worth, you attract better relationships. You stop wasting time on men who are not serious about you. You stop allowing fear to keep you in situations that no longer serve you. You create an energy that commands respect, love, and commitment from the right person. Healing from past wounds is essential if you want to attract the right man into your life. Many people carry emotional baggage from previous relationships, childhood experiences, or personal disappointments, and without healing, that baggage seeps into new relationships, creating cycles of pain and dysfunction. You cannot step into the love you deserve while still being tied to past hurts, resentment, or unresolved trauma. Healing allows you to open your heart fully, love without fear, and embrace the healthy relationship you truly want. Unhealed wounds often manifest in different ways: fear of abandonment, trust issues, insecurities, or self sabotaging behaviors. Some people become overly guarded, afraid to let anyone get too close, while others become overly dependent, seeking validation and security in relationships rather than finding it within themselves. These patterns can push away the very love you desire because they create barriers instead of bridges. Healing requires self awareness, honesty, and a willingness to address your pain rather than avoid it. It is not an overnight process, but every step forward brings you closer to attracting a man who is emotionally healthy and capable of loving you in the way you deserve. Forgiveness is a crucial part of healing, and this does not mean excusing hurtful behavior or allowing toxic people back into your life. Forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the weight of the past so that it no longer controls your present. Holding on to resentment only keeps you stuck, replaying the same painful memories and emotions. When you release that energy, you create space for new positive experiences to enter your life. The right man for you will not be able to find you if your heart is still closed off by past disappointments. Healing also means learning to love yourself on a deeper level. Many people seek relationships to fill a void, hoping that love from another person will heal what is broken inside them. But true healing comes from within. It is about learning to validate yourself, to be comfortable with who you are, and to build a life that brings you joy even when you are single. When you operate from a place of self-love, you attract a partner who mirrors that same energy. You will no longer settle for relationships that drain you or tolerate behavior that undermines your self-worth. The journey of healing requires patience and self-compassion. It is about acknowledging your pain without allowing it to define you. It is about choosing growth over bitterness, peace over chaos, and love over fear. It involves being intentional about your emotional well-being, whether that means therapy, self-reflection, journaling, or surrounding yourself with positive influences. Every step you take toward healing brings you closer to the love you desire, because a healed heart attracts a healthy relationship. A man who is truly meant for you will be drawn to your wholeness, not your wounds. He will see the strength in your healing journey and respect the boundaries you have set. You do not have to be perfect to find love, but you do have to be emotionally available. Healing prepares you for a love that is fulfilling, stable, and deeply connected. Confidence is one of the most attractive qualities you can possess when it comes to finding the man of your dreams. Confidence is not about arrogance or trying to prove yourself to anyone. It is about knowing your worth, believing in yourself, and carrying yourself with a sense of self-assurance that naturally draws the right kind of man into your life. When you are confident, you do not seek validation from others because you already recognize your own value. You walk into any room with a presence that commands respect and admiration. A confident woman sets the tone for how others treat her. She establishes clear boundaries, communicates her needs effectively, and does not settle for anything less than what she deserves. Men are naturally drawn to women who exude confidence because they can sense the difference between someone who truly loves herself and someone who is merely seeking approval. When you embrace your confidence, you will no longer tolerate relationships that leave you feeling unappreciated or undervalued. Instead, you will attract a man who sees your worth and is eager to step up and meet your standards. Confidence also plays a crucial role in your energy and aura. People can feel when someone is secure in themselves versus when someone is struggling with self-doubt. Insecurity often leads to behaviors that push good men away, such as excessive jealousy, clinginess, or a fear of being alone. On the other hand, confidence allows you to trust yourself in the process of love. You know that you do not have to chase after anyone or prove yourself to be worthy of love. You understand that the right man will recognize your value without you having to convince him. One of the biggest misconceptions about confidence is that it means being loud or always in the spotlight. True confidence is often quiet, yet powerful. It is about being comfortable in your own skin, embracing your uniqueness, mean what you believe. It is about knowing that you bring something valuable to the table and that any man who enters your life is receiving a blessing. When you operate from this mindset, you become magnetic to the kind of man who appreciates a strong, self-assured woman. Confidence is not something you are simply born with, it is something you build. It comes from self-love, personal growth, and pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. It develops when you take care of yourself, set goals, and achieve them. It grows when you overcome obstacles and realize your own strength. The more you invest in yourself, the more your confidence shines through in every area of your life, including your relationships. When you exude confidence, you also set the standard for the kind of man you attract. A self-assured woman does not entertain men who play games, disrespect her, or make her question her worth. She naturally draws in men who appreciate her strength and are willing to meet her at her level. A confident woman does not fear rejection because she understands that anyone who does not see her value is simply not the right match for her. She knows that her worth is not determined by external validation, but by the way she views herself. Emotional availability is one of the most important factors in attracting the right man into your life. Many people focus on external qualities, looks, career, or status, but what truly fosters a deep and meaningful connection is emotional openness. When you are emotionally available, you create space for love to enter your life in a healthy and fulfilling way. You are not holding on to past hurts, guarded by walls of protection, or afraid to be vulnerable. Instead, you embrace the possibility of love with an open heart and a clear mind. Emotional availability starts with healing. If you have been hurt in the past, it is natural to want to protect yourself from future pain. However, keeping your heart closed off can also keep the right man from coming into your life. It is essential to process past experiences, let go of unresolved emotions, and allow yourself to move forward without the weight of old wounds holding you back. Healing does not mean forgetting what happened. It means learning from it and choosing not to let it dictate your future relationships. Emotional availability is self-awareness. Being in tune with your emotions and understanding what you truly want in a relationship allows you to communicate your needs clearly and effectively. When you are unsure of what you want, it becomes difficult for the right man to find you because you are sending mixed signals. Clarity within yourself attracts clarity in your relationships. It enables you to recognize when someone is aligned with your values and when they are not. Being emotionally open does not mean you share everything about yourself right away or that you ignore red flags. It means you are willing to be present in the moment, engage in honest conversations, and allow connections to develop naturally. A man who is looking for a meaningful relationship is drawn to a woman who is comfortable with her emotions and can express herself without fear. He wants to know that she is emotionally mature, capable, handling the ups and downs of a relationship, and willing to invest in building something real. One common challenge with emotional availability is the fear of rejection. Many people hesitate to open up because they do not want to get hurt. However, true emotional openness means understanding that vulnerability is a strength, not a weakness. When you are open, you give yourself the best chance at finding a partner who genuinely values and appreciates you. You also gain a deeper sense of self respect, knowing that you are showing up authentically rather than pretending to be someone you are not. Creating an emotionally available mindset also means being selective with who you allow into your life. Not every man will be in the right emotional space to meet you where you are, and that is okay. When you prioritize emotional availability, you naturally attract men who are ready for a real connection. You no longer entertain emotionally distant or unavailable partners because you recognize that love cannot thrive in an environment of inconsistency and uncertainty. Creating an emotionally available mindset also means being selective with who you allow into your life. Not every man will be in the right emotional space to meet you where you are, and that is okay. When you prioritize emotional availability, you naturally attract men who are ready for a real connection. You no longer entertain emotionally distant or unavailable partners because you recognize that love cannot thrive in an environment of inconsistency and uncertainty. Emotional availability also means embracing patience. Love does not always happen overnight, and meaningful connections take time to develop. When you trust the process, you remove the pressure of trying to force something that is not meant for you. You allow relationships to unfold naturally with both people choosing each other from a place of clarity and sincerity. Confidence in who you are and what you bring to a relationship is one of the most powerful forces in attracting the right man. Many people spend time wondering why they are not meeting the right person or why they keep encountering men who are not serious about them. The truth is, the way you see yourself has a direct impact on the type of men you attract. Confidence is not just about how you look or how successful you are. It is about knowing your worth and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. Confidence starts with self-acceptance. When you fully embrace who you are, your strengths, flaws, and everything in between, you exude an energy that is magnetic. A confident woman does not feel the need to prove herself to anyone because she already knows her value. She does not seek validation from a man to feel good about herself. Instead, she walks into every interaction knowing that she is enough, regardless of whether someone acknowledges it or not. This kind of energy naturally attracts men who respect and appreciate a woman who knows her worth. A confident woman also sets clear boundaries. She does not allow herself to be mistreated, led on, or disrespected. She understands that love should feel safe, secure, and uplifting, not confusing or anxiety inducing. When a man sees that a woman has strong boundaries, he recognizes that she is not someone who will tolerate games or settle for inconsistency. A man who is serious about love will appreciate and respect a woman who stands firm in her standards. On the other hand, a man who is not ready for something real will be intimidated by her confidence and may distance himself. This is a good thing because it means she is naturally filtering out those who are not worthy of her time. Confidence is the ability to express yourself freely. When you are secure in who you are not afraid to speak your mind, share your opinions, or communicate your needs. You do not shrink yourself to make a man feel comfortable, nor do you pretend to be someone you are not just to gain his approval. Instead, you allow yourself to be fully seen, knowing that the right man will appreciate your authenticity. This creates a foundation for a healthy relationship built on honesty and mutual understanding. Confidence is also about trusting yourself. Too often, people ignore their intuition or second guess themselves because they are afraid of making the wrong decision. A confident woman listens to her inner voice and trusts her judgment. She does not let fear dictate her choices or keep her stuck in situations that do not serve her. She knows when to walk away, when to take a chance, and when to stand her ground. This self-trust not only helps her navigate relationships more effectively, but also makes her incredibly attractive to the right man. A truly confident woman also finds fulfillment within herself. She does not rely on a relationship to complete her or make her happy. Instead, she cultivates joy, purpose, and passion in her own life. She has goals, interests, and a sense of independence that make her life rich and fulfilling, whether she is in a relationship or not. A man who is looking for a meaningful connection is drawn to this kind of woman because he sees that she is with him out of choice, not out of need. Emotional availability is one of the most important aspects of a healthy and fulfilling relationship. Many people focus on physical attraction, shared interests, or compatibility in lifestyle, but emotional availability is the foundation that determines whether a relationship will truly thrive. A man who is emotionally available is someone who is open to giving and receiving love, capable of expressing his feelings, and willing to build a deep emotional connection. When a man is emotionally available, he does not run from vulnerability, nor does he shut down when things get difficult. Instead, he understands that relationships require emotional intimacy, honesty, and trust. One of the key indicators of emotional availability is a man's willingness to communicate openly. He does not hide his thoughts or feelings, nor does he expect his partner to guess what is on his mind. He is comfortable discussing his emotions and making space for his partner to do the same. This kind of communication creates a sense of security in the relationship because both partners feel heard and understood. A man who is emotionally available does not avoid difficult conversations or suppress his emotions. Instead, he addresses them in a mature and constructive way. Emotional availability is the ability to handle emotional challenges with maturity. In any relationship, there will be moments of frustration, disagreement, and misunderstanding. An emotionally available man does not resort to shutting down, becoming distant, or withdrawing when things get tough. Instead, he remains engaged, willing to work through problems, and committed to finding solutions. He does not view conflict as a reason to run away, but rather as an opportunity to strengthen the relationship and grow as a couple. Emotional availability is also reflected in the way a man prioritizes the relationship. A man who is truly available emotionally will make time for his partner and show consistent effort. He does not leave his partner guessing about his intentions or where she stands in his life. Instead, he demonstrates through his actions that she is important to him. Whether it is through small gestures, meaningful conversations, or simply being present, he makes sure his partner feels valued and appreciated. Emotional availability is self-awareness. A man who is emotionally open has taken the time to understand himself, his emotions, and his past experiences. He does not let unresolved wounds from previous relationships dictate his behavior. Instead, he has done the necessary work to heal, grow, and enter a relationship with a healthy mindset. This level of self-awareness allows him to show up fully in the relationship without projecting past pain onto his partner. A man who is emotionally available also embraces vulnerability. Many men are taught to suppress their emotions and view vulnerability as a weakness, but a man who is truly open to love understands that vulnerability is essential. He is willing to let his guard down, share his fears, and express his love openly. This creates a deep emotional bond because his partner feels safe knowing that she can also be vulnerable with him. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in the success of any relationship. It is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions while also being able to navigate and respond to the emotions of others. When a man has a high level of emotional intelligence, he is more capable of forming deep and meaningful connections. He does not allow his emotions to control him, nor does he ignore the feelings of his partner. Instead, he approaches relationships with a level of maturity that fosters trust, communication, and emotional security. One of the key aspects of emotional intelligence is self-awareness. A man with high emotional intelligence understands his own emotions and how they impact his thoughts and actions. He takes the time to reflect on his feelings rather than reacting impulsively. This self-awareness allows him to recognize patterns in his behavior, acknowledge areas where he needs to grow, and take responsibility for his actions in a relationship. He does not make excuses or blame others when things go wrong. Instead, he is willing to work on himself and make necessary changes. Emotional intelligence is empathy. A man who possesses this quality is able to put himself in his partner's shoes and understand her emotions on a deeper level. He listens not just to respond, but to truly comprehend her perspective. He does not dismiss or minimize her feelings, even if he does not fully understand them. Instead, he validates her emotions and makes an effort to create an environment where she feels safe expressing herself. This kind of empathy strengthens the emotional bond between partners and fosters a deep level of trust. Emotional intelligence also plays a major role in conflict resolution. Every relationship will have disagreements, but it is how those disagreements are handled that determines the strength of the relationship. A man with emotional intelligence does not escalate conflicts by becoming defensive, shutting down, or lashing out. Instead, he remains calm, listens actively, and approaches the situation with a problem-solving mindset. He prioritizes finding a resolution over proving himself right. His ability to manage his emotions during conflicts prevents unnecessary damage to the relationship and allows both partners to feel heard and respected. A man with emotional intelligence also knows how to regulate his emotions. He does not allow anger, frustration, or stress to dictate his actions. Instead, he has developed healthy coping mechanisms to process his feelings in a constructive way. Whether it is through communication, self-reflection, or taking time to cool down before reacting, he ensures that his emotions do not negatively impact his partner or the relationship. This ability to regulate emotions creates stability and prevents unnecessary emotional turmoil. Another sign of emotional intelligence is a man's ability to communicate effectively. He does not shy away from expressing his thoughts and feelings, nor does he expect his partner to read his mind. He is intentional about having open and honest conversations, even when the topics are difficult. He understands that clear communication is the foundation of a healthy relationship, and he makes an effort to ensure that both he and his partner feel understood. You have to trust the process. Love doesn't always come on your timeline, and that's okay. Many women settle because they get tired of waiting, and then they end up with a relationship that drains them instead of fulfills them. But when you trust that the right man will find you at the right time, you don't move in desperation. You move with confidence, knowing that what is meant for you will never miss you. The right man is not going to pass you by, but he will only be drawn to you when you are walking in your purpose, radiating confidence, and refusing to settle for anything less than the love you truly deserve.